You're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast. Hi, my name is Wamuyu from Kenya, and you're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast. And this is episode number 10, and I'm so excited. Why? It's because one, I'm doing this episode alone. Second, I'm talking about myself and why I started the podcast. And it has been an amazing journey. Challenging, of course, but grateful. Most of all, very grateful. Because this has been a dream that I wanted to do, and a platform where I wanted people can be vulnerable and let's talk about life issues that are happening in our lives. So my full name is Mercy Wamuyu, and I am a firstborn, as mean from the last episode 9, talked about firstborns. Yeah, I'm a firstborn. I am a sister. I am a friend. I'm a Christian, and most of all, I am a woman. Yeah, and what else about me? Oh, yeah. My background is on culinary. I did it, and then I was like, you know what? Tunaweza ongezea pia masomo. So I did my undergrad in hotel management. And then I decided I want to immerse myself into the world of social media. And here I am, struggling. When I tell you this thing is not a joke, it's not a joke because anxiety is doing its best right now. But in life, ni career nilichagua. So I have always been driven to create meaningful connections and amplify voices that might be otherwise unheard. That is why I decided to do Whisper It Loud podcast. I think the essence of it is more of a contrast in the sense that we are shouting the things that are usually whispered, and a lot of these things that I get to talk about in my platform is that things will not get to learn them in school, unfortunately. And these are things that are real in our lives, and they're things that we are constantly going to pass through them. And unless you have amazing friends, there is no teacher apart from the world, or amazing people who can support you or, can walk the journey of life with you. Yeah, so why I started, I think I've explained that why I started. What I aim for the podcast to do is to foster a safe, inclusive space where we can explore diverse perspectives, challenge societal norms, and create the beauty of our differences. Everyone has different stories and everyone has something to share. And I thought that this podcast will be a platform where everyone can actually bring their different opinions, different narratives of how they think or why things should be done differently, and get to share it here in the podcast. In the future, I can't wait for this podcast. We get to travel, we see the world, share stories, not just Kenya, but also the world, and more so Africa, because I believe Africa anyway, me, I'm proud to be black, and like Africa, we have everything. Okay, I'm changing. Karibu nianze kusema mambo ya colonization. That's why it's so uncomfortable doing this thing alone, but it's very important that I do this thing alone. So yeah, and to share, because there are people who really I admire what they are doing with their podcast and what they are sharing, and it changes me in so many ways. Because one, I constantly listen to a lot of podcasts, even my own. The guy who actually is behind the camera right now, he told me of a podcast called The Press, and I'm constantly listening to it, and these babes are doing the most. Because one, BBC kuna siku, and I see like someone like Adal Onyango. She's doing the most. She's empowering women, talking stories, traveling, and and getting there's diversity on so many levels in regards to the conversation. Someone like Jules, honestly, if she just came to my podcast, it will be, I don't know, machozi too. Because honestly, because I love this babe because she's authentic, she's herself, she's not apologetic of the opinions she gives, because they are not at times the most popular opinions, but she says them. Even when she started the So This Is Love, the podcast, it came from her own experience in order for her to just share about what she had gone through in regards to relationships. And when you hear such podcast, you get to identify that you're not alone. There are other people who are going through the same thing or even worse, and it just shows you're normal. It happens. Actually, I feel like bad things happen to the best of us, the best people. But yeah, even the other podcast on It's Related, I Promise, that's also another podcast I listen to, and it's amazing. And honestly, I can't wait to be nominated. All in all, what I'm just trying to say is that this platform that I am creating, it's a journey, and I am grateful that I have people I look up to. Even TMI, I enjoy their conversation. I love Murugi Munyi. She's a force, she's a power. Anyone who knows me knows that I vouch for her, because this woman is not afraid to work hard for what she wants. And her eloquency, because when I started podcast is when I realized that English ilikuja na meli. Because tell me why I'm not able to just have a fluent conversation without having so many filler words during my conversation. Or just sometimes when I'm having guests, I'm just like, yeah, for sure, yeah, I get it, I relate. I need to change my vocabulary, I need to look like I'm Libesova. Man, kujiongelesha si joke. Shout out to influencers, but wanajiongeleshanga kwa camera, because this is not for the faint-hearted. I think with all that, what I'm just trying to say is that I'm grateful for this journey, and that I can't wait to see what it's going to generate, or like where the journey will take me. All I know is that I'm passionate about this, and I think I'm on the right track, and I'm hoping that my audience is able to relate to the stories that I give or the topics I share, and I change, even though it's not so many, but just one person, to just know that they are not alone, that we don't need to get everything in life in order. It is okay. Like, shit happens, and you're where you're supposed to be, and any other thing is an illusion of you're supposed to be this by this age or anything. I mean, you're competing your life with who? You're the only one who is living that life. Any other person might just have the same name or look alike, but that's your journey, and I think that's something that we should acknowledge. I'm also struggling with it, not that I've gotten to it, but yeah. So Whisper It Loud podcast. Share it, like, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. We are on all platforms. If you also want to sponsor, you can get a hold of our email, and also there's a number that is given out on the YouTube or Spotify where you can also sponsor us in regards to our sessions in the studio. We'll really, really appreciate. Thank you, and cheers. So much love. Mwah, 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 mwah. You're listening to the Whisper It Loud podcast.